that we ventured upon, inshallah, will bring about the results for that which it is intended. For we're told by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, that actions are only by intent, and everyone should have that for which they intend. So the intention behind the process in which we have taken upon ourselves to start is the purification of the heart, self, and soul. The purification of that inherent nature that has become corrupted. Because we're told in the Quran that every child is born with a pure nature. Pure nature. But it is their parents or the environment or both that corrupts that nature. So the process of the purification, tazkiyah nafs, the process of tazkiyah nafs or purification of the self, heart, and soul is to return back to that inherent, natural, instinctual aspect of being human, which is the purpose of life. We're told that the purpose of life is to serve and worship Allah. But how can we serve and worship Allah without having knowledge of who we are? How can we serve and worship Allah without knowing ourselves? Who are we? What are we? Why are we? When are we? Where are we? What is the purpose of all of this that we call the life of this world? So knowledge of self is imperative for this journey. We must gain knowledge of self. And in gaining knowledge of self, we must discard all of those accumulative negative traits that are not a part of our natural self, of our original self. Our original self has within its capacity to exhibit God-like qualities. No animal could do that. Animal is purely instinctual, driven by instinct. No angel can do that. Angels are by their creative nature, they have no will of their own. They have no capacity to agree or disagree, to obey or disobey. So in essence, listen, in essence, the human being has the capacity to be lowered to a level below an animal, because an animal is instinctually driven by its animal nature without a choice. So therefore, when a human being chooses to behave in a level of an animal, it is actually the human has actually lowered itself below the level of an animal. Also, the human being has within its created nature the ability to rise higher than an angel. Because an angel has no will of its own. It is created from light, and it is an angel has no will but to follow the commands of Allah. Glorified be his name. It cannot resist. An angel has no ability to resist the commands of Allah. The human being, because the human being has the capacity to accept and submit or reject and rebel. It's because of that inherent nature of the human being which gives the human being the capacity to be lowered below the animal and elevated above the angel. To be human. With all the human frailties, with all the human weaknesses, with all of the human negativities, as well as positive aspects of being human. Allah has chosen the human being to be his representative amongst the creation. Those who submit will receive the reward of those who submit. As the prayer of Abraham, you know, surely I have turned myself to thee, O Allah, trying to be upright. And I am of those who submit. Those who submit to what? Submit to who? Submit to that higher self, which is directly correlated and connected to its creator. It has a direct connection to the creator that created it. But because of the corruption and the negativity within, as well as the corruption and negativity without, it has been that natural self has been covered in darkness. But when it returns back to its original nature, to its original self, then that darkness that covers the heart will be removed, and it will be polished by the remembrance of its creator, to the point where that heart, or that the self of the person, will reflect the light of its creator. Not equal, but reflect the light of its creator, as the moon reflects the light of the sun. But there's an expression, scientific expression, the dark side of the moon. I'll close with this. As the moon, as we look in the sky in the night and we see the full moon, and the light that we see, we call it moonlight. It is not actually moonlight, but it is the light of the sun reflecting off the moon, which has no light, that you're actually looking at the sunlight when you call it moonlight. So the moon has the capacity to reflect the light of the sun. The human being has the capacity to reflect the light of its creator. But as the moon has a dark side, the human being has a dark side. May Allah protect us from the darkness without, and may Allah especially protect us from the darkness within. And may Allah allow us to reflect the light, his light, through the manifestation of following the way of his beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May we reflect that light and be a beacon of light to humanity. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, glorified be his name, protect us from the darkness that lurks without, and especially from the darkness that lurks within our own selves. Amen. I greet you in the greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.